Hello, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome. 22nd of October. I hope everyone's well. So, to our warm-ups, as usual. Breathing out on the way down, breathing in on the way up. Tongue on the roof of our mouth, on the hard palate, just behind our teeth. So, breathing out on the way down, breathing in on the way up. As much as you can, breathing out through your mouth, breathing in through our nose. So breathing out on the way down, breathing in on the way up. Okay, breathing in on the way up, breathing out as we look down. So breathing out through our mouth, breathing in through our nose. Nice and slow. As I think I mentioned last week, one of the feedback I've had from the teachers that teach me is that sometimes I go a little bit too fast with everything. So I'm just doing my best to slow it down. So just letting the weight of our arms and hands stretch our neck and shoulders out. We're not pulling down, as I think I say every time, we're just letting that weight stretch. We don't want to hyperextend our neck or pull it too far. No need to do that. So just stretching our shoulders back and forwards, rolling them out, getting all the tension out, warming everything up. And then opposites, if you can do that. If you find that difficult, just start going in one way with a shoulder and keep going that way. Then try and change, excuse you, Luke, change the direction of the other one. That's how I like to do it. So I just have one shoulder going in one direction and try and get the other shoulder to go the other way. It wasn't easy, took me about 3 months, might take you a lot less, who knows. But it is possible. I wasn't born with it. So breathing as we come back to the center, breathing out through our mouth as we twist. You notice there's a pattern with the movement, so generally as you change something, you breathe out. And as you come back to the center, you breathe in. So breathing out on the way down, breathing in on the way back up. Breathing out the way down, breathing in on the way back up. The other thing from a biomechanical and muscular perspective, if we go slower with everything, it makes our body work a bit harder. It also means that we have to use a lot more balance and really feel what we're doing. I talked about this with some of my class on the weekend, and it's kind of a bit like if you're doing weights or resistance training, you want to take things a bit slower so you're not just sort of shoving the weights around. Something that I'm sure personal trainers talk to people about heaps, because they talked to me about it. So just stretching to our sides and to the other one. Okay. And if you feel comfortable putting your hand behind your head like so, just makes the stretch a bit stronger. If you don't like doing that, it's totally fine. Just stretching our forearms out. With these ones, just like some of the other ones like wrists or other things, if I don't talk about the breathing, just check in with yourself, make sure you are breathing. Very important. When we don't breathe or when we shallow breathe, that's when we create a lot of cortisol, a lot of stress hormones, and a lot of stress in our body. You can stress your body out within 10 to 20 to 30 seconds just by breathing the wrong way. Because of course everything's struggling for oxygen, particularly your brain. And just doing a bit of a tricep sort of stretch. And I lost where I was going, so going back to doing the stretch again. And breathing out on the way forward, breathing in on the way back. At one of the corporate classes I do on the Tuesdays at a workplace, someone asked, why do you do things in threes? So Chinese philosophy is very about yin, yang, and if you like, the Tai Chi, which is the ultimate, so it's a combination but more than the sum of the parts of both. So that's what we're sort of, if you like, emulating. So we're doing one for the yin, which if you like is the female aspect of everything, one for the yang, which is the male aspect for everything, and then one for, if you like, the ultimate aspect, which is, you could think of it as neutral. It's kind of both, but it's also everything else in between. So just remembering to support our back as we do our waist turns. That's why we put our hands behind our hips. And then just stretching to more than shoulder width apart, as wide as is comfortable. And shifting our hands from foot to foot as much as you can, just letting those arms and your neck and your shoulders and everything really dangle and just moving from the waist. If you feel comfortable placing your fists or fingers on the floor and then tilting up on our toes and then back on our heels. It's a great balance, it's also a great stretch. Excuse me. Excuse me, sorry about that. Just stretching our knees out, rolling our knees around, and then finally our ankle turns. So the Kaimin is not just a warm-up, we're actually opening and allowing our energy centers and our energy, if you like, within our body to flow. So it's not just, let's get some joints moving, it's preparing our body for the Qigong, which of course is coming up next. So starting with our liver exercise. Fun fact, the liver is the first organ to fire off your day. Starts at 1 o'clock in the morning. Chinese have a body clock. Each 2 hours is designated an organ's particular time when it's strongest. And first off, which kick-starts our body with its pilot light, is our liver. Source of getting everything moving. 1 to 3 a.m. in the morning. So if you have issues with your liver, i.e. things like depression, strong anger, alcohol, viruses, you might find that between 1 and 3 a.m. you wake up. So with our liver exercise, one of the big things is taking it nice and slow. So as we come up on our tippy toes, breathing in and so forth. This is our other liver exercise. So breathing in, breathe out on the way down, and then breathe in to our center and breathe out. So we breathe in on the way up, hold our elbows and squeezing, breathing out, breathing in back on the way up, breathing out on the way down, and of course breathing in to our center and then breathing out. As I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, the idea with our center is that this is our sacral chakra, also known as our dantian to the Chinese, and it's where we store our qi for the day. So every chakra does something different, and this is not its only function, but it's one of the things that it does. The Chinese call it the cauldron. So it's a bit like a hot pot that's there for you to nourish yourself throughout the day. So the idea with Qigong and Tai Chi and so forth is to increase the size of your hot pots, so you've got plenty of food, plenty of qi to nourish your body throughout the day. Keep everything going, not stress your system out because you've already got plenty of energy there. That's why we do these exercises, apart from the fact that they relieve stress, and it's just as good as aerobics and muscle bearing exercises and all sorts of wonderful, amazing benefits. Anyway, I could be here all day if we talk about that. So this is our kidney exercise, which we do every time, so not going through it as much, but just in case, I'll talk through the breathing on the next one. So breathe in on the way up, palms forward, breathe out on the way down, squeeze our ankles or our legs, no breath at this point, breathe in on the way up, arms crossed to keep our balance and not strain our back, breathe out on the way down to our center, and then breathe in, and breathe out and relax. So trying to keep everything nice and smooth. You'll notice that I speeded up a little bit with this exercise, unfortunately. That's something for me to be aware of. And also a bit of a coughing Clearly Luke's clearing things as well, which is not unusual, happens for everyone. Most people have stuff that we clear. If you're still human, it tends to be what's happening. So, breathing out on the way out, breathing in on the way in. So, I think I mention this every so often with this exercise. Try and keeping it nice and smooth. It's very not much about moving your arms. I think of like a, like an albatross or one of those really slow flying birds that just kind of almost glides its wings up and down. You don't sort of have that flapping bird wings. This is a graceful albatross kind of sort of thing. That's the idea. It's a heart and a lung exercise. Hits both. And also very good for our shoulders and muscles, of course, moving the arms around. And you want to do this one in multiples of 3. I've done a couple more this week, and that's okay. If you feel comfortable to only do 9 like we usually do, just stop at that point, which was a fair while ago. So once you do the recording more than once, get to 9, skip a bit further ahead if you need to, and just breathing out on the way down. Breathing in on the way up, breathing out on the way down. So this is our stress busting one. It's a lung exercise, nice and simple, very centering. So breathing in the way up, breathing out the way down, back to our center, breathing in and breathing out. And yeah, okay, I'm doing it again. I'd forgotten that I'd done it twice. So always good to do things again if you feel like you need to. Clearly I did. And breathing in and breathing out. Pushing out, breathing in as we come back. Pushing out and breathing out, breathing in as we come back. Pushing out, or up, breathing in as we come back. Circle round, pushing out, breathing in. There is a pattern there. And breathing in and breathing out. That's a 4-directional movement. It's not for any particular organ. It's just very good for the whole body. Some Qigong exercises aren't for any particular specific organ. They're more of a whole body kind of thing. This is one of those. They kind of balance everything as well. Is the other aspect. So this is our heart exercise, breathing in on the way up, breathing out on the way down. Our palms almost touch in front of our heart. Breathe into our shoulders, breathe back down, out, back down to our center, and then breathing in and out, as usual. Some things I probably haven't mentioned to the newer people in the group. Each organ in Chinese medicine has a, if you like, you could think of it as a sister or a partner organ. So your heart is partnered with your small intestine. So the idea is that one of the organs will get affected first. So that's always the one that I talk about in the Qigong. So that's the yang organ. And then once that one starts getting affected in whatever capacity, then it starts to move to the other organ. So what you'll find is that if you have, say, things going on with your heart, then eventually your small intestine will start to play up. Likewise, if you have lung problems, then eventually your large intestine will play up. So this is our spleen exercise. And just before I get to our spleen exercise, the idea also is we don't have to do an exercise for each organ. We do one for the organ and it affects the other organ in the pair. So we don't have to do a heart exercise and a small intestine exercise. We just do a heart exercise because then the other one gets cured and cleared through the same process because they're linked. Breathing in on the way up, breathing out on the way down. So the Chinese call that a mother-child relationship. So breathing in on the way up with our spleen exercise. Nope. Oh, I only did 2. Interesting. which is also based on the energetic principle that sometimes if you cure, when a child's before 7, a disease in the mum, it actually cures the child. So homeopathic remedies are often given to the mum, not to the kid, because the child is still in their mother's energy field until the age of 7. So treat the mum and you treat the child. Same principle. Okay, enough Chinese medicine for now. Circling around at navel height with our Tai Chi, stepping forward with our right foot, right hand in front. Nice and slow, slow as we can. Palms towards us, circling down and around again at navel height, drawing back. So left hand comes down, right foot comes back. Point our hands and point our right toe up. Collapse our right hand, trace over with our left, over the wrist, and step out to our right. Right hand in front, right foot in front. Again, circling back down and around, back to our rice bowl. Up to our shoulders, push out with the backs of our hands, draw back, circle down and around, push out with our palms, draw back, and pivot our right foot, pivot our left, facing where we started. Hands above our head, left arm is a wing, right hand forms a beak. Right hand to our chin, left hand underneath our right elbow. Ground that left hand, stretch our wings, step out, paint our rainbow, and then we're going to go dip, like so, step forward left foot, and back left foot. Collapse, reaching out, grasping, and then our infinity sign. So hopefully going a little bit slower this time, Luke. That was a little bit quick. I'll take note of that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Circling around at navel height. Stepping forward. Circle around again. Draw back. So draw that left hand back and point our hands and our right toe. Collapse our right hand. Trace over with our left and step out to our right. Move back because you realize that the camera can't see you. There we go. Circling down and around, drawing back to our rice bowl. Up and push out with the backs of our hands. Draw back, circle down and around again, push out with our palms. Draw back, pivot our right foot, pivot our left. Stretch out our hands above our head, beak and wing like before. Collapse our right hand to our chin, left hand under our elbow. Ground our left hand, draw that left foot in. Stretch our wings, right then left. Step out with our left, paint our rainbow, right arm ends up in front. So dipping down, left hand forward, left to left, right to right, right hand on top. Sorry, left hand on top. Oh, even I mix my right and left up sometimes when talking. Stretching out, grounding that left hand to balance us. And then our infinity sign. So stepping down and up. And back down. Circling down and around. Pushing out. Palms back. And drawing down. Collapse our right hand, trace over with our left. Excuse me. Step out to our right. Check that we can see ourselves in the camera and you can see me. Because there's not much point me doing it off camera. Push back a little bit so we can stay in the center of the shot, as photographers would say. Well, kind of. And back. Above our head, back down. Right hand is our beak, left hand is our wing. Right hand to our chin, left hand to our elbow. Draw on that left foot, ground that left hand, stretch our wings. Stepping out. Right hand in front. Okay, so right hand comes on top, left hand comes underneath. Step forward with our left foot. Step back with our left foot. So here we go. So right hand dips down and on top. Left hand comes underneath. And step forward with that left foot. This is probably one of the more complicated bits in the entire sequence. So this is why people sometimes find this a little bit challenging, which is okay. It's not straightforward. So our right hand to our right, left to left, and then our left hand ends up on top. Squash. Right hand on top again, reach out with our right hand, draw it back, and then step out for our infinity sign and start again. So you'll notice, as I've talked to, I believe, to everyone before, but just in case, this is a 4-directional movement, so you can actually do this and you will end up, after you do it 2, 3, 4 times, facing where you started. So that's the entire sequence. Now don't be too concerned if you don't necessarily remember all of it or you need me to talk through it. That's totally fine. The biggest thing I would ever say to anyone taking on something like an exercise, particularly something like Tai Chi, is just keep going and do your best, and that is all that you need. Nothing else. Doesn't matter how quickly or slowly you seem to memorize it. That's probably really only going to give you grief. The only thing you really need to focus on is just doing it. Just keep turning up, keep doing it. Just keep practicing it, and it will fall into place. And what you will notice, as with my voiceovers, or for those of you that come to my classes, is it's automatic for me. So often it's not that I don't know what I'm talking about, it's because it's such an automatic thing I can't blimmin' remember which is my left hand and right foot and left foot, and I have to look at myself in the video and try and work it out, because otherwise I don't actually know, because I just know it now. So breathing in on the way up, breathing out, breathe in and hold, breathe out and reverse what we just did. This exercise closes down our aura, keeps us safe. Breathe in, breathe out, and then breathing in and breathing out. Thank you very much for your time. Have a fantastic week. Practice as much as you can, and don't be too hard on yourself. If you've got any questions, let me know. Bye.